Okay, so thanks everyone for being here. This is really exciting that so many of you signed up. And my biggest message to everyone is going to be, don't worry about if you plan your first one and it doesn't go well and no one signs up. Because I tell you, that happened twice to me. So I had to keep on just changing the date because no one knows anyway. It's okay. Like, don't worry about it. But I think after this masterclass, you'll be able to do it, not have a problem with it, and feel really secure. And then I'm here for you if you need questions like throughout the whole time. Just ask me. Going into this season is a little difficult, so I would say everyone plan it for January, and that's going to give you enough time to be able to do everything. Because I'm not doing any more for. I did 3 this year. I'm not doing it. I may do a Zoom one. I've had some people say that they've been really successful with Zoom. I've not done it yet. I like that personal touch. So for me, I think that I want to meet them. I want them to meet me. Which I have to get in a second, you guys. Hold on. Let me grab the box because I want to show you the box as well. So this was a labor of love. This was let's close it here. My seller box that everyone was sort of asking about. Let's make sure we can see it. And here's the sign. I have all that. The TV team. I have something called the marketing difference in terms of my marketing. So that's what this is here. So we'll do that also and kind of go through there. So, all right, let me share my screen. Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, great.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to close this. Hopefully I can see between the closed captioning and just getting everyone in. Let me just put this all here. Okay, thanks for that. And okay, so the first thing is definitely vendor partnership. And if you can't hear me or something, please let me know. Just kind of tell me. Get really good vendors because this has also been something that I'm actually going to try to for 2025 is have my team of people that I'm using for all of my buyer and seller seminars. Now, I did do just buyer and just seller. This last one, I decided to combine it. And the reason was because I said, you know what? I thought it would be really good for buyers, to tell sellers their pain points and for the sellers to hear the buyer's pain points and vice versa. I thought that even though I was giving them great advice and tricks and how to really, let's like for a buyer to get the best, offer in, and for the seller, like how to negotiate, I just thought it would still be very beneficial. And it was because there was a lot of back and forth and conversation. So I really, really love that. So I would say the things that the vendors to me is obviously you always want a lender, an attorney, an inspector. And this last one I did, I can't tell you how many questions there were for an inspector. And this last one, unfortunately, he couldn't come, and it was just and that's really why I want to have like to know who's coming for the whole year because there was so many questions that could have been answered by him. And we really talk about, doing inspections for sellers so that they can walk in and to a sale being confident, right? They know what's wrong with the house and they can fix it so that you don't have any problems. So, and it's not that much money. So it's like $600 in the course of things. I mean, I just think that's a great investment to have as a seller to make sure that there's nothing wrong with the house. And he kind of goes through that and it really works on that way too. And then let's, talk about the contribution because it does get expensive. And I'm going to give you guys ways to do it to save money and to if you have a bigger budget. So don't worry if you don't have a large budget going into this. I'm going to give you kind of tips, but everyone has to contribute because everyone is getting the list, right? So you're sharing that list with everyone. So it's not all on you, and that's the big thing. So get a lender and an attorney and and a good maybe inspector and say, okay, how much money can you spend in terms of doing all these events. And that's really important, because the two things obviously that can be expensive is what you're doing with the event and then the mailings. And we'll talk about that and kind of go through there. So the next thing is your timing and your format. And so you can do, like I said, if you want to do like a standard event, something that's not going to cost you a lot of money, if you have your office or your attorney's office or somewhere you can go and you can just do pizza, right? You can do pizza seminar. So it doesn't have to be something that's crazy and expensive. I've also done them, and we'll talk about, I've done Wednesday evenings and Saturday mornings, and they were all the same. So I can't tell you that one was better than the other. This particular one that I just did, I had 15 people. My last one on Saturday morning, I had 18 people. So it's really, it all depends on what you want to do. You can try both and kind of see your market and what you want to do. So we can do it, and then that's what we can do a standard event, not costing you a lot of money. If it's a breakfast, you get bagels, you get donuts, you get coffee, and you're good, right? So the whole event is really, the expense will be in your mailings and your advertising, which we'll talk about in a minute. Or you can do it elevated. So you can do something like you can do a brunch at a restaurant, you can do a dinner at a restaurant. I was really lucky on my last one. Um, my mortgage broker is advisors in New Jersey, and they actually own a like a catering hall. And they have a restaurant attached to it. So they had a private room. So it came out of his budget. I'm not saying that it wasn't free, like, because it did come out of his budget, but I did not have to contribute to food, which was amazing. The last one I did, it was about $250 each person. I think it was about $45 a person, I want to say, something like that. So it doesn't have to be, again, if when you're dividing it by 4 people, it's less and less expensive. So it's not kind of crazy. So you can do something more elevated, or you can start off doing coffee and donuts, pizza party, like something like that. I'm saying they'll still come because they're getting free food, right? And they're still, then you have your value. All right. So advertising promotion. So here's your secret sauce. This is what you have to do. And the first thing is going to be is Facebook and Instagram ads. You're going to have to start them at least 3 to 4 weeks, depending on your budget before and how much money you have. You can do as little as $3 a day, $5 a day, $10 a day. So this is where the vendors contributing to your budget is going. Don't take this all out on yourself, because that will be expensive. And I've done that. I've done it, all by myself, because I felt bad asking. And then I'm like, why am I feeling bad? Because they're getting the names as well, and they're benefiting. That's why get your team solid, and you can have sort of maybe 2 different teams, maybe 2 sets, do 2 a year and the other 2. So I would say you definitely do 4 a year, which is really important. So I would hire someone to, unless you're really, really good at doing Facebook ads, I wouldn't like start trying to figure it out. I would hire someone to actually do it for you. Which the guy I used was about $400. I know that sounds like a lot, but and something that I was willing to put into it because I could see the success in it. So you definitely can go on. I found my guy on Upwork, or you can do Fiverr, which has really inexpensive people, and find someone that does it less expensive, but that really knows how to do this on your Facebook and Instagram. You also want to put it on Eventbrite. You can do Eventbrite for free. And then in some places, you can actually advertise with Eventbrite, but for some reason, it's not everywhere. And I don't know why, because when I had my New York one, so I sell New York and New Jersey. Hold on, I'm letting somebody in. I was able to do it for New York, was not able to do advertising in New Jersey. I have no idea why, and didn't have time to kind of go down that rabbit hole, but at least it was up there on Eventbrite. So I've gotten people there. My Facebook was the best, because now that list comes through. You're calling that person, or you're a buyer, or you're a seller, get to know them. Why are you coming? What are you looking for? Just like a little bit of a hello. Maybe it's like 5 minutes. And then the follow-up is going to be really, really important on this. And we'll talk about, that as well, if you see it down there. But the Facebook was amazing. Like, that came down. Now, be careful. And you can tell by email addresses. You do get agents who try to want to sign up. And so I've had to tell them, no, I'm sorry, this is not for agents. So you can tell kind of when the email comes through. But I have to say, but a lot of people. So even though I had like 15, I think I had about 25 people who actually signed up, and some people couldn't make it. So they're on for your next one, but we can have conversations with them, and we kind of go from there. So that is the key in terms of your advertising. Now, the other thing you want to do, and I wrote here, so just make create a like a spreadsheet to manage everybody and put down whether they're coming. You want their name, you want their address, you want everything, their email address, buyer, seller, comment, so that you can go back, because really the follow-up on making sure that they're going to come will happen. The other thing I do, so then this is the part that can get expensive. If you can do it, is really great, is you're sending either postcards or letters or both. So I have really nice envelopes. I also run a Zillow accountability group. And if you guys want to join that, let me know. And we talked about envelopes, and I used to send out like a dark blue or a black envelope. When we found out that it's one of the people in the group, it's someone at the post office said they're really hard to read. So I have really nice, beautiful envelopes with my logo in the corner. And so they want to open it up because it's got, really nice texture and it's really pretty. So you want to do something like that. And in the letter was a QR code to the sign up. So make it easy for people. I love QR codes. So if you can do that, I use flow code because they're pretty, and you'll get to actually see one in a minute. But you can get them free on Canva. So you can do that too, but get them back to that. Then also I sent out a postcard, and also the same thing about signing up for the seminar, and that went back to that sign up page. So, mailings, you only get about 1% return. So if you can do, obviously if you're doing your farm area, if you can do a couple hundred, great. If you can't, you send out 50, and that's all you can afford. I mean, I actually did a letter with those envelopes around a listing, and it was like that equity letter. And I said, the value of your house may have changed because of this sale as soon as it went into contract. And I got a listing from it, and I only sent it to 75 houses, and it was great. So, but again, really nice envelope, really nice paper, or you can do the postcard. So you want to start advertising between 4 and 6 weeks in advance. It takes some time to get all this stuff done. Again, Facebook, Instagram, you're going to call and text the lead, each lead, introduce yourself, right? Tell them about the event, what they're going to experience there, and work with that. So really anywhere between that 4 and 6. Your follow-up schedule is really, really important. So you're going to do 1 week before, right? The event, you're going to again text them and I always make the picture, I send them the picture of my of the invitation, right? So they have that. You're going to do 3 days before, you're going to do the day before, and hopefully the morning of, because that's really, really important as well. Because again, people forget, like, oh, I wish you reminded me, because all this was trial and error. It's just been like one of those things. So they forget, because you're thinking, oh, they said, great, they're coming. That's not, if you don't do this, you also will lose the amount of people that come and sort of that. So your presentation, you want to create a PowerPoint. You want, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. You want to allocate like 15 minutes per person. And you're going to fill your boxes. You're going to make sure that you order, which we'll go through in the box in a minute. You want to make sure, I don't know why I can't get this bigger. Hold on. You want to make sure that you have all your supplies, everything is ready to go. I would have fill everything within a week, couple of days before, stay organized, have it all packed and ready to go. And don't be afraid if you don't know how to do a presentation similar like this, and when you're at a restaurant or something and plugging things in, I can go over exactly how to connect that to, because I didn't know. I had to figure it all out, right? I went with my computer, how do I get that onto the screen? Sometimes it's like something really silly and small, but and it makes you afraid, but it's really not. So let's start with questions. I'm going to stop the share here, and then I can kind of go on. What questions do you have for me so far? Any questions? Anything about the process?
Thank you, Lori. So when you get these people signing up on social media, for example, you were referring to Facebook, and then you give them a call. I was just wondering what kind of reaction. I know they signed up, so hopefully they're interested. But if you start, how much time do you take to follow up with each lead and get to know them, their need, what they're trying to do? Like, do you schedule a time? You give them a call and say, "This is Lori. Thank you for signing up."
Right.
And then you schedule a call to learn a little bit more before the event, or the first time you get them, like, how does that work? Thank you.
The follow-up after, right? After the event is what you're talking about?
I was wondering, you mentioned that you get to know more about them prior to the event and share what's going on. So how much time do you take, and how does that go? Thank
So
you.
in the beginning, when I call them up, I have like a kind of a couple of questions that I want to ask them. I don't want to make it too sort of, I don't know if invasive is the right word, but I don't want it to get like not to come. So I don't want to be, but I need to know basics. So I want to know, if they're a buyer or a seller, how long have they been looking, maybe a little bit about their timeline, why they're excited to be there, and then tell them and get them excited about the event. So I'll say, you'll have an attorney, we'll go over closing costs. Like I have, my buyer's guide is really, really good. My buyer, my seller guide, which I share with everyone. I give everybody a copy of that. I also have something called the home buying experience that is to help you get the signature for the buyers. So I get them excited. I'm like, you'll have an attorney to answer the questions. You're going to have a mortgage broker to answer those questions, because it is just important to a seller to know how to accept the right offer as it is for a buyer to maybe choosing the right mortgage broker. So I get them really excited. And then when I talk to them, one of those follow-ups will also be a phone call, because I think that's important for them to hear your voice again. Say, hey, hi, it's Lori Savino. I'm in Corcoran. I'm like so excited for you coming to the seminar. I just want to make sure you were still coming. Do you have any questions? Do you know where you're going? And that kind of gets them to know. So when they walk in, they're walking into someone that they've already spoken to. So I hope that helps. Any other questions? No. Okay. I'm going to share
I
now.
have a question for you, Lori.
Yeah.
Sorry, I might be the one asking all the questions today.
Oh,
Sorry.
of course.
um, for the full disclosure, I've never met Lori, or maybe met her one time, and we have exchanged information on Facebook. So I'm not set up here from Lori to ask all the questions. Just kidding. When you qualify these leads, do you read them out? If somebody says, I want to attend the seminar for a family member, but they are not able to attend,
Yes.
like do you carefully, because obviously you need the decision maker, the main person there. Do you read these guys out and not invite or take the invitation away from the people that they are not directly buying or selling, or do you still go through with it? Thank you.
I let everybody bring a guest. Usually sometimes it's a husband and wife or whatever, partners. And then you will always are going to get people that come for free food. It's just gonna happen, and you have to accept it. It's part of it. The last one I did, this one gentleman has 3 properties. He has an apartment in New York City to sell. He has a commercial property that he wants to sell, and his home that he sold in New Jersey, he wants to downsize. Like that's that's just paid for every single seminar my whole year, right? So that's what I'm saying to you. You only out of those guests need 2 or 3 to buy, but the credibility and the assets you're going to get. I also hire a videographer and photographer so that I have assets, because assets are really important in terms of putting that up on your social media. You all know what I mean by assets, right? Like pictures, video, social proof, right? So the more you put that up, and you can go onto my Instagram and you'll see the ones that I've done. And from the first one where I didn't hire someone, we just did it together. The second one I hired, and the third one I hired. I'm actually just waiting for that to be done. And again, that's as you make money on these and you're able to connect with clients, you'll have more money to spend, and the events just get bigger and bigger and better, I think, which is really important. And all the different types of seminars that you can have, which is really good. So that's important. So hopefully so you're going to get it. Like, I know that there was 2 people there that were just there to eat, but it's okay.
Lori.
I'm
Oh,
sorry. Just a quick comment. So you were saying sometimes the licensed agents would like to join. Is it ridiculous to ask them up front if they hold a real estate license when you call them to
Absolutely.
check in with them?
Absolutely.
Got it.
Because you know what I think, like, I don't mind doing this. Like, I love teaching, I love developing, I love helping you guys. But I am not going to like have someone sneak in. I think that's not the right thing. I mean, if you were honest with me and you said, hey, listen, can I come? I really want to see, how this works. Then I'll say to you, yes, come and help me set up, right? Like, work it with me, right? And then get up in front. Because the nervous part too to people is like this, right? Talking in front of people, and that again comes a lot easier. The first one I did with another agent, we don't even work for the same company. And so it just to help her get in front of the room. So I'm always willing to help, but don't try to sign up and sneak in. Right. That I feel like it's not right. Jamie, you had a question?
Excuse me. Yeah, thank you, Lori. My question is about in-person seminars versus webinars, and if you've kind of tested both, and you know, it seems like you're leaning towards the in-person. And I guess a short follow-up would be um, evening and weekend versus daytime. You know, if you were to do a daytime webinar during the week, if you found that effective or ineffective at all.
Um, I want to do a Zoom one because I know a mortgage broker who actually does these and is very successful, and he gets people to, like, sign up with him and get pre-approvals. So I'm thinking about doing that for December. So so when I do that, I can actually tell you guys whether it works or it doesn't work. With everyone sort of going back to work a lot, I'm not sure how it would be like 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. But I would say to you, there's no cost to it, right? Just try it. So try it, see how many people sign ups you get. You can also, like I'm doing now, is record it and then send it out to the people. So sometimes people will sign up and they don't show. So I do a lot of like training and developing on my webinars, and I would say about half the people show up, actually show up, and then the rest watch the recording. So it's still, obviously gives me social proof and helps them. So I think that would work. And then also you can put it on your YouTube. And again, it's developing those assets for you that you are the expert and that you can kind of keep on going. So I would definitely try it. And then don't do a webinar, because I've done I like engagement. I like talking to people like this. So I would do a regular Zoom meeting like this versus a webinar where you can't talk to people and people just have to type. And I feel like that loses that connection you have with someone, because it's really important to have that connection, which you can still do on screen.
Hi,
Thank you.
Laura. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Hey, Bing, yes.
I have a question. I put it in the chat. Actually, I did a mailing with really nice envelopes. I didn't get any responses, and I did it to people who I targeted in the neighborhood who have been in their homes for more than 20 years. Because I
Good.
think those were people who would be most likely to sell. But I didn't have any way to follow up with anything other than a postcard, because I didn't,
Right.
I don't have phone numbers or emails, and I was wondering where else I could get lists of people. Or do I ask a mortgage broker to share his list?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so how many did you send out?
75.
Yeah, so it is a 1%. And you'd have to send it out again. I would send out, more than one. And that's when yes, it can get expensive, but get your lenders to pay with you. I mean, like I do
I
this, we used to send out all the time, where the one side of the card was me and the other side of the card was them. So that it shares the cost. The envelopes do get a little more expensive, but they get a better open rate. And even if it's 75, keep on sending that 75.
Okay.
My mortgage broker did not have a list because a lot of his people are from different agents. So he wasn't able to separate that out for me.
Ah,
I
okay.
know, which is a problem. So you have to start creating your own new list. And you will. And that's what happens. Like the more people that come, and then you'll be able to email them, because the follow-up part of this and making sure that you send a thank you card, right? After it, you send a thank you email, and then you put them on some sort of drip campaign, and you keep on following up with them until you can close them. But
Well,
that's what I would do. So the
QR code on there,
yeah,
or is that too impersonal?
the QR code goes to a sign up. Yeah, but I actually have a landing page, which so I have that too. I have a landing page and I have a website.
Okay.
Yeah, so that I think, but it needs to go back to something so that people are clicking on it, or it goes to, a lot of it goes to my home bot too. So then I have their information anyway. So you can put on there, the home evaluation for sellers is really, really important. And then you can kind of put something where it talks about like a buyer's buying power, and do they want to talk to the lender, for the lender, and it to go to him. But I like, so it depends on whether they're buyer or sellers or where they go to.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Let me answer some of these questions. Okay, so D, I'm going to show you the boxes. Do you call them before I went through that? Yes, always. Do you have a partner vendors that help you with pre-follow-up? I do it because I feel like they need to talk to me. and I hate to say this, but I feel like no one can sell like I can. So, right, and I would not have your assistant do this. You want to talk with them, you want to have that connection, and you want to keep them going, so definitely do it. I did a mailing, really, oh, that's Vinny, right, okay, we talked about that. Can you share the examples of your Facebook ads? Yep. And how did you create the landing page? Okay, so I hired someone to do the landing page for me, which I have to go back because I just finished it and I have to remember too, because I have two. I have one for my coaching, which I can kind of show you and go through that, which looks very similar to my to my my sales one, but I can kind of show you that. If you guys are patient, I can look that up. Okay, so let's look at any other questions, then I'll show you my PowerPoint.
Yes, I have one more question. You just answered the landing page one. That was one of my questions. And I know that you said that you hired someone for your Facebook ads. Do you know what type of ads do they run for you? Is it a traffic ad or a lead ad?
It's a lead ad. It's a lead
It is
ad.
a lead ad.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
And also, he does it so that they're all the different size. Because what happens, I know when I try to do it, each ad has a different size, right? You have to change it for Instagram, for Facebook,
Mm.
for stories.
Mhm.
And I don't know if any of you've kind of seen mine, but mine always come up
Yeah.
in realtors to see my ads, right? And so he was able to do that. I can't honestly, I think at one point you have to realize what you're good and not good at. And
Oh my
not
God.
and right, and not to spend the time on doing it, just hire someone. And there are
Mhm.
different levels, right, of people that you can hire, because and I think that's really going to help you, and that's where it becomes really successful. But the money will come back to you in sales, like I'll get
Absolutely. Without investing, I mean, like, how can you expect anything, right?
right, exactly, absolutely have to do that, so that's
And you're still able to reach so many more people with $5 or $10 a day on Facebook than if you were trying to send mailers. You can reach thousands.
right, seriously, thousands, and you just keep, so the key to any of this, in terms of all these names, is the follow-up that you guys do. If you're not following up properly, if you're not sending out value pieces, like really good value pieces, you're just not gonna get any return. 'Cause
What
you'll
do
do
you
it, and
consider
then you'll
value
forget.
pieces?
Yeah, it's like you're throwing money away, but I'll show you, and I'll show you all of that. All right, so let me quickly, my PowerPoint is, hold on. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'll show it as a slideshow because it's nicer to see that way. So, and I did this. This is on PowerPoint. You can also do it on Canva if that's easy. 'Cause I find Canva really easy. Though they're new. I don't know if anybody's like their new version of it. I feel like it's not as friendly as right as the other one. I was like kind of mad about that. But so again, here I am. This is the last one I did. So it was only me and the mortgage broker. So agenda, introductions, right? I call mine the art of the deal. You call it whatever you want. These are my buyer and seller guides. And so I just put the cover so they kind of know guide to buying, guide to selling. And I've actually, since I know a lot of you are probably licensed in 2 states, I actually have New York, New Jersey, co-ops, condos. I mean, this took me this past year, I decided I wanted all my materials to be really good. So every year, just decide on what you want to get really, really good at. So for 2025, it's going to be these seminars, right? Because I did all of this. My seller map and my buyer map was good again. I don't like the ones that are just literally like, you buy the house and you close. It's like, this has just a lot more detail in terms of where they need to go and they can refer back to. So this is something I work for Corcoran that they did, which was buyer and seller talking points. So I would develop your own and have a document, because these were really good to explain the NAR settlement, what everything means. And this was great conversation going back and forth in terms of questions from the buyers and the sellers together. So I think it was really good. Here's my buyer ones. This was part of my listing presentation. I have something called, smart home selling strategy, also my marketing difference. So I just showed this slide, and then I went into a little bit of each one and what it means. So, and what they should do, gave them kind of little bites. The art of negotiation, I'm a certified negotiator, so we talked about that. So again, was part of my listing presentation. Closing costs, I have to tell you, if you this has to be talked about because it is so much value to them, and they really, I'm sure with right now, right, your buyers and sellers are always like, what are your closing costs, right? So here it just breaks down exactly the percentages, and you can talk about this and they can fully understand, and when they walk away, and this is also in my buyer and seller guides, they were so happy. This was James, this was his, so this was his agenda, this was my mortgage broker, what he talked about. What? Someone had a question? No? Okay. So this was all just his slides. And again, I just put them in with my slides. So this is all for you guys too. So I have a coaching page. If you guys want to take your cameras out, click that. You'll get my trainings and anything that you need, you'll see as they come up, and you can kind of stay connected with me. I do this. So this is flow code. And so it's really pretty. So I like it. And it also keeps track of everything. They have their version of Linktree in it. I happen to get it free from Corcoran, but I don't think it's really that expensive, but and again, you can do QR codes for free, but there's everything kind of goes into there, which is really good. So I have this in terms that goes to my website for them. So I kind of include that so everyone keeps in touch there. So let me stop sharing. Everybody click, we're good.
Mhm.
All right, so let's talk about the seller box. Okay. So this was in Box Genie. I'm going to give everybody, before we get off in the chat, that SOP so that you'll have it. All right. So in this seller box, this was again a labor of love, takes a long time, but once I did it, it was like really great. So you can send this for like CMAs, right? So just think about before you're meeting a client that they get this on their doorstep before you even go there. I mean, if that doesn't get you the sale, I don't know what. So here is this is a video that goes to me talking to the seller. I bought on Etsy. It says my logo on it with tissue paper. And this box is also the 4-inch. It comes in 2-inch or 4-inch. And hold on, let me get this. Yeah. So the first thing is a tote with my logo on it. This is like a jar opener. You know, they're always going to say this. This, which I just found recently, which was really, it was a Band-Aid holder. So I thought that was for like moms, right? To do it, boom, it's staying in and they can just refill it. I thought that was genius. And then this is to charge your phone. Right. So, and this I all got on 4-imprint, and again, you'll do that. So then when it's all set up, so in the box, so when they open it on the top, I also have a sticker too, is the buyer and seller seminar, the buyer and seller guide. So then when they open up, they'll see that and they'll look through. I have them close the box and take out, so it's like that presentation. So when they walk in, you saw that video had all these boxes all over, which is really good. And I just had like just little things, if you can even notice, these are all little S's. The Savinos that's in here on the pattern. So it took a while. They're not cheap. But what can I can tell you again, I'm going to always give you a budget one and an expensive one. In Amazon, they have those like foil things and it says, this is what you've been waiting for. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Or do you need to see it? They're shaking heads, right? So, and they're very inexpensive. So send that, right? So you don't have to, lead yourself up to the box. In 2025, say, you know what, I'm gonna do the box. Because you have to order like 250, you have to order a lot. But that goes through like pretty quickly if you're really dropping off the CMA with it, or use the one that's on Amazon that just says, this is what I've been waiting for. And they come in black with gold writing, or I think white with blue, and you want to open it, right? And then you can have all your materials, in there. What other questions do you guys have for me?
Is your little QR code on the inside flap of the box, is that just a generic, hi, thank you for your interest, blah, blah, blah.
Hi,
Just
thanks.
generic.
So this one actually goes. So I want to try to change it a little bit and get a sticker on top of this where I can use different QR codes because I even give this to the buyer, even though it's a seller box, I give it to everybody one of my events. So I'm like, oh, that message should be different now. Like you think about things later, so I can kind of save you. a little there. So maybe you don't have the QR code printed there, and then you can print a sticker with it, and then you can change it. Like, that's what I would do for my next one. So I can, if I'm giving you a buyer box, then that's a buyer message. If I'm giving you a seller box, it's a seller, right? With that, so, and the links it doesn't matter, right? Because you can just keep those links and change the links if you want. So this one just says like, hi, my name is Lori Savina from Corcoran. Thank you so much for coming to the seminar. And not everyone gets this box. I kind of do that kind of thing, and let's talk about let's talk about the rates. Let's talk about your goals. Where do you want to do? Where do you want to move? A lot of what I do also, I'm a certified trainer for exactly what to say. And so a lot of that is connection with people, and we talk about and trying to find out who they are and what they want is really important when you're doing that, because you want to ask them questions. The more questions you ask them, the more curious you get. If you get really, really curious about your clients, the connection is going to be better. And that's what you want to try. So that's what a little bit of this is, that connection that you want to build, that rapport with the buyer or seller.
And do you use like BombBomb or some sort of
Yes.
video hosting?
Yeah, I use
Would-
BombBomb. It's
You do
good.
use BombBomb.
Yep. I like BombBomb, and I just signed up for Loom, because a lot of people were talking about Loom. Yeah, so I'm testing that one to see which one I like better. BombBomb used to be, when you used to text them, you used to be able to see the video, right?
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore. So yeah, I don't know, when I texted, all I see, because I didn't use it for a while and I kind of went back, it was just a line. So you have to say to people, hey, this is a safe link, and so I don't know. I think that it's just getting harder and harder for people to be able to send out these emails and text to people, because then they think it's spam.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What other questions?
Laurie, where do you order your marketing materials? I heard that the tissue paper comes from Etsy. What about the chargers and the little Band-Aid things
Is for imprint.
for imprint?
For imprint. And let me do this now before I forget.
You should get an affiliate link with them.
I know,
You
I
know,
should probably do.
seriously, why not?
I know.
And then where do you print your boxes and how much are they?
So wait a minute, let me just see if there's any, okay, let me. Yeah, where's the attach now? The boxes come out to, because I did this a while ago, I think like $6 a piece. So it's not a cheap box to do.
It
right?
doesn't look cheap either.
Right.
So you
Not a-
elevate your game, right?
People laugh at me, nothing I do is cheap, but I will give you like another option of where I started with and where you build up. So you build up to the box, don't worry. You can also get a plain box and order a sticker and put the sticker on top of it. Like, just think about different ways to be able to do this and make it look beautiful, because no one does this. No one gives out a box, right? So even if you had a beautiful plain box that you ordered on Amazon and you made it, you zhuzhed it up, it's really going to be, it's going to help. So don't worry about that.
Did you hire a designer to help you design it, or
Yes. Yeah.
you share?
Yes.
sharing?
So the designer I have is Henry Street Creative. They're great. They're fantastic, not cheap, but they did all my branding. They did my logo. They did my little like other kind of logo. I have the little stamp card. So like they did everything. So they did the box because I wanted everything to be the same.
Of course, yeah.
They're great. And so if you're looking about visual identity, like, because that's different, right, than a logo, right? So really, really important to get visual identity. They're the people to go to. Like, they do a whole thing for you. Like, they did the print for me. I have like how to use it, everything all in a document. It's just takes you to the next level.
You say Henry Street
Henry Street. Yep. Henry
Okay.
Street Creative.
Creative.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Here. What other questions you guys have? Nothing? Everybody's going to be like expert.
Someone asked, how many buyers and sellers have you closed from the seminars?
3. Almost basically like one Well, not on this one. I had 2 from my second one and 1 from my first one.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it's really good. But you have to figure, like, percentage wise, I had 18 and I think I had like 7 in my first one. So you're not gonna close everyone. It's gonna be a smaller percentage, but the amount of commission you make, you know.
Exactly. And it doesn't mean that these other people are not gonna reach out at some point, right? They may just not be ready
They might,
now.
hey, but they'll be ready. If you keep on talking to them and you keep on following up, that when they're ready, they call you instead of calling someone else.
Mhm.
What months do you do them and how many? So for a year, and I start in January, February. And then, and you have to be careful. You have to put about holidays. I don't do it in the summer, right? No one's really gonna come. So you could decide if you want to do 2 in the fall, 2 in the spring. And then like 1 at the end. So you figure out, I would love honestly to do 1 a month. I mean, if I can, like, and then take off the summer and take off actually December, because I think it'll be good. That's why I'm trying to figure out if the Zoom will work. Because then I think that would be really good. So the months, maybe in the summer you do a Zoom one, right? You're all home. It doesn't matter. It's not going to be like this big production. So that's something you can do. Let me see if I can find, give me a second, my landing page. And I'm listening. So any other questions? Let me get off work. Hold on. And let me just see. It's 1.7. And I will give you guys, his name is Ross Alex is the one that I use in Upwork, and he's really good. Okay, here's my login page. Let's see. Yep. Okay.
Oh, Lori, could you show us the examples of your Facebook ads, please?
Oh, yes. Okay. Okay, can you see my page? Okay, so this is the landing page, and so then I have ads going here, like my coaching one, which I can check my coach one too. So it just talks about like so here I just wrote something about real estate, doing it differently than everyone else. Why hire me? I have like a great marketing difference. This talks about that. These were my accreditations. Buying and stuff. So I saw again, New York, New Jersey, and to me it was very important to have 2 different things. And so does everyone understand what's the difference between a landing page and a website?
Lead capture, right? For the landing page?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, right. Is that this is to have ads that go here to get people to talk to them. Website's really different because it's just sort of like a calling card, and I can show you. Hold on, let me go here. Can you see this? I just changed to another screen, right? Do you still see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my website. So this is, which I know we can have a whole other conversation. This is Agent Image. And so I can tell you what I like and not like about them. So this is here, and it is a full ID access. We know, when I'm in New York, let me just hit here. I can show you.
Who does your landing page?
Say that again.
Who does your landing page?
So, okay, so I'll tell you that. So Ross Alex did it for me. So I went down this rabbit hole. I'll explain that too. Let me just show you guys, and I'll go back to looking. So selling or buying in New Jersey. So they get all the downloads. So I have all my guides on here, and you guys can go on and get it too. I can tell that your agents want to get it. So then I have my reviews. And what happens is really nice is this pops up. If someone wants my like seller guide, here it is. They'll give me the information. Now, let me explain this. Now, I don't know. Is anybody on here from my accountability group? Because I said I thought it was only been half hour and we were going to go into that. So I don't know if you want to put it in the chat. If you're here, we will like stay on and we will talk about that. Or if you guys want
Yes,
to.
that's, I am.
What, Johnny? I know Johnny is, right?
Yeah.
So I have an accountability group for those who missed it, came on late for the Zillow letter. So we were gonna go over that because a lot of people had a lot of questions. So, all right, so the landing page, I originally went with, oh my God, I gotta remember the name. I'll remember the name in a second.
Oh, okay.
What?
Okay.
Um, oh my God. Oh, Unbounce. And Unbounce was really user-friendly. I did my own, which is great. What happens that a lot of people kind of go on like, oh, you can do it in Canva. You need to create with Zapier a way to get these names, right? So you can do, I also now, the one that you just saw is with ClickFunnels. So ClickFunnels, when you sign up with them, you actually get like 20. So I would say you don't use Unbounce. ClickFunnels though is harder to use. I found it not as user-friendly. So that's why I hired him and he did them for me. Unbounce actually was really nice and I did my own and it came out pretty good. So if you want to start this way, in order to do that, you have to get Zapier, and Zapier is going to do the connection from the landing page to your CRM. So when somebody, it's like, like a mess, so you have to do like a zap, it's called, right? So the message is going to go from someone goes on to that landing page, they fill in the information.
Oh, yeah.
It's straight there,
Trader Joe's. Okay, cool.
right? Hold on, let me just. There we go.
Lori,
Yes.
for landing pages, another really good one that I found to be
Oh,
super user friendly is it's actually called Lead Pages.
Great.
Have you ever used that one?
Do you do the zap onto your, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's
And-
the part that people, right, don't understand. Cause I see all these messages on our TF group and I'm like, they're not explaining it right. There's no way that the information from your landing page can get your CRM without something that connects it. And
Totally. And the hardest part for me is I can build beautiful landing pages and have like the best upkeep in my CRM, but where I struggle to like the absolute most frustration, want to rip my hair out is getting the zaps set up. And I've spent
I got a
hours.
guy for you. He's 200.
Do you?
Yeah. I will give
I-
everybody, he's in England. I love him. It's $250. Just pay it and close your eyes and do it.
Fine. I have spent all of my time trying to figure out this,
God.
how to get tags appropriate
Yeah.
for landing pages. And so like, anyhow, I would
And-
love.
The guy Ross that I hired was like, oh, I do this all the time. I do some when I was like, because when I did the Unbounce myself and I hired this guy, again, I tell you, you go down a rabbit hole. I hired this guy, Alistair, he's in England. I love him. He's great. It's all he does. So it's easy. So that's sometimes you need someone that's all they do. Like Ross is really great at designing mine, but like to do the zaps. So when you see all this stuff on TF, it's not that easy. You have to do a landing page. You have to do so if you go down, if you want, let me start from scratch. If you're going to do a landing page, you have to have enough money to do the Facebook ads that are going to go to the landing page. You're going to have to hire someone to do your zap. And then then it starts flooding. So
Yeah.
it's a different, type. It's your website's a card. Your landing page is going to get you business.
Lori,
Thank you.
it's Marna. If people have access to KV Core, because I know a lot of brokerages are offering KV Core, and a lot of agents don't like it.
Yeah.
But KV Core offers landing pages. So instead of purchasing a landing page platform, use those. And yes, the leads are going to go into your KV Core CRM, but you can connect your CRM to Follow Up Boss or whatever, because that's that's what I do.
Yeah.
And then Agent Fire, I don't know if anybody's looked at that platform, but they offer landing pages as part of their platform.
So, right. So if your platform does it, great, do it because it'll save you a lot of money. But if it doesn't, like mine, like it was poker and I don't get anything. So that's why my website I paid, Agent Image, and that's a difference.
I don't understand why Agent Image isn't doing it.
No, please, Agent. So if anybody, Agent, so my site.
They told me they are doing landing pages. Sorry to interrupt, because I'm thinking about using them. I'm about ready to sign the papers with them at
With-
Agent Image, and they say they will do the landing pages for me. So is it not right? Is it not true?
Yes, but it's cost you $1,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Agent Image is a beautiful site. Does not make you money. I have not got one lead off my site. Does it look beautiful? Absolutely. But that's it. Like, so things like KV Core and Boomtown, those are lead generating sites. Luxury Presence and Agent Image are beautiful cards, if that makes sense. And you have to do other things. So I have not, so in order for Agent Image to be, I don't want to like totally slam them because the site is beautiful. I have to do the blogs. That's really the way to work. So the blog, because you need the SEO. You have to pay extra for SEO with them. You have to, so you have to do a lot in order to get the rankings up. It's a work in progress, but people love my site is beautiful, but that's where you go. So it depends on what you want. That's why I had to do the landing pages. That's why I do the videos. Like, you have to do a lot more. If you do video ads, right? Like you talking that to your landing page to get them to sign up would be the best thing. That's like, and I will show you my ad too, because I know you guys want to see the ads. What are the questions you guys have? Nothing? We're good? Are we gonna make a lot of money with buyer and seller seminars? I'm going to.
That's the plan. Do you mind sharing these resources so that I wrote few down, or maybe later on if you do a follow-up email,
Where are
I'm
the
not sure if it's possible. All the guy in England, the other resources you have for
Oh, yes.
your marketing and stuff, if you don't mind, or either that or share. I think if you have this video recorded, but it'll be good if you get it.
Yeah, hold on. Let me.
I would appreciate it. I'm gonna get the Agent Image website, but then I understand. So they didn't explain that right about the cost of landing pages. So I might have to reach out to you again and look into all these different landing page websites or options that you guys are talking about. Thank you.
Lori.
Yes.
So I have a small team here in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
And we just started the team this year, actually. And I was approached by somebody that found me on Facebook. They're out of Nashville. They have this, I guess, company called howtobuyahomeclass.com. And you pay a setup, like an onboarding fee. And then you have a monthly fee. There's no commission, or like there's no splits or referral fees that you pay to them. But you pay a monthly fee of, I don't even know how much it is, $250 or something like that. And I looked into it, and it felt awesome in the sense that there was a community of support, because I'm helping my team build their business, right? And I'm like, you're both newer agents.
Yeah.
Classes and seminars are going to be a great way to meet people and become the expert, right? And so I decided to not go in that direction, but because of it just seemed kind of silly to pay that much money. But do you have, I know you're talking about coaching and you're talking about this accountability group. Do you have a group that you meet with, or you run, or you could recommend that really focuses on these classes and accountability and brainstorming? Like, this is how I do my marketing. What about this? Like, this is what we started doing, and like having that mastermind.
I actually wanted to, so I ran a really big mastermind a couple of years ago that really helped everyone grow, and I sort of grew out of it, and I wanted to start a new one but I want to find people who really want to commit. And you guys can all just reach out to me, because I would be happy to do it even with you if you wanted you and I to start it and then figure out, because you look like someone that would really want to do it. Because I don't want people who don't show up. I know yes, we are all busy, but if I'm going to commit to being there every week, then we need people who want to commit. And yeah, I mean, I would totally be open to that. I don't know anybody else that kind of does that, but I think we would form our own and figure out and get really good people. Like, you are all here, you're spending the time here with me for an hour, that you all want to do that and really better yourself, right? And that's really the most important thing. Yeah, so that would be, it'd be great.
I would love that. We're doing business planning next week, actually, and it's a big part of our business plan for 2025. And this class just perfectly came up, and I was like, I have to make it. because I'm in the process of creating SOPs for the team and getting that commitment when we go to do our business plans. But I can only be there for them so much. So like a mastermind would just be
Perfect.
incredible.
So it's like I tell everyone, if you're not doing your business plan in October, you will have no business in the early next year. You have to do all your, everyone sort of goes downhill and starts to stop. You need to rev up in order to have everything that you need for the first quarter. I'm happy to do business plans with people too, if they kind of want to do that. And then someone with Flamundo is the guy who does the Zapier. So he does the connection. If that makes sense. So ClickFunnels, Julia, I'm sorry, which is the other one that you said that you like? Okay.
Lead pages.
Lead page. So check out lead pages, check out ClickFunnels, and then and then after you have that built is when you would go to Alistar and he would connect it, because they have to talk to each other in order to get it in there. So I am going to stop recording.